I can probably guess why you clicked on this video. And that reason would be is that you want to learn some. Don't worry, you came to the right guy, and I'm going to teach you to the best of my ability. But let's stop wasting time and just get to the point. The first moment you open Blender, you're going to be met with this UI right here. Right here is where you choose your new file. You can choose General, 2D Animation, Sculpting, VFX, and Video Editing. For right now, we're just going to do General since we're getting into the modeling part and not any of this. Right here, you can see your recent files. Whatever you've opened or made in the past, it will appear right here. Probably when you open Blender is not going to show anything here, so you just want to start out with a new file. So here we got the top UI. You got File, Edit, Render, and Window. We'll get to all of those in a bit. What File does, when you click on it, you got lots of options right here. First we got New, which is just to open a new Blender file. Obviously the same thing that you would see on the first screen that you open Blender for. This one's open. You could just open any of your last used or any of your previous Blender files that you've worked with or projects. This one, you just open your most recents. If you have a lot, this would be useful. For me, I don't have that many, so it just shows every single project I've worked with so far. Right here, very useful feature. You can recover your last session or your autosave. If you ever made a mistake, let's say you messed up the geometry of your model or you deleted something in your project, you can use this and recover it from your last session. Although the only downside to it is that it only recovers from your last quit file. So if you make a mistake and you didn't save for the past 5 hours, you might not be in luck. But this one will probably help you more in that case if you have, I think, autosave on. I don't know if it autosaves automatically. I have to check. But this feature does get any save from an autosave folder that Blender uses. I believe so. But I honestly use this feature more than last session, just because it sometimes saves me whenever I'm modeling. Right here we got the save option, which is pretty basic. You just save your Blender file. You can save as, which if you click it right here, you can pick a file to, or a folder to save it to. You can name it whatever you want. Right here we're just gonna name it Project 1. And then you can create your own folder. Right here I have it on D drive, Blender, and projects. So I can just save it to here and you can open it using this. I'm not sure if, yeah, there you go. It's saved right here. And then you just open it again. There you go. You got your project saved. This one, you can also save a copy of your file. It does kind of the same thing, except you'd have to kind of name it differently. Like, you do copy, boom, and then it just copies it. And the other option right here is save incremental. So let's say you have your project that is numbered, right? And you just want to save a basic copy of it that is another number. This one just saves a copy of your file and names it within a, how do I say? When you save the file, it gives it a numerical number that goes up every time you save an incremental. So I already saved 2 projects, Project 1, Project 2. If I save it, there we go. It's going to say Project 3 at the bottom. And so on, so on. See, look, if I save it again, Project 4. If I save it again, Project 5. There you go. We're going to skip these 3 options. We'll get back to them, like, in another tutorial. Right here is the import. You can import something from, let's say if you're working with Roblox Studio, for example. You can import like a wavefront OBJ, you can import an FBX, you're only really going to use the wavefront and FBX if you're really doing like importing to Roblox. All these other options are for animation, 2D graphics, and other stuff you can do in Blender. But the main ones you're probably going to use is OBJ and FBX for 3D models. That is my most suggested, at least. I'm going to import a OBJ file just to show you what it does. Right here I got a Blomberg Blender file from an OBJ. I just import it and boom, it gives me my beautiful Blombergs that I made in Blender once. See, right there. Let me just move this block right here. There you go, look at that. And that's all from made in Blender. I just imported this into Studio and I saved it as an OBJ and you can just import it back. There's also another feature, export, you got right here. You can do the same thing except you are exporting whatever is in the Studio out, and it's just basically like outsourced to other things. Like let's use Roblox Studio for an example again. You want to export this as an FBX, this block right here. You just press this. If you want to limit to your selected objects only, you want to press this. If you want to export everything, and I mean everything in the entire Studio, you just don't click that. But I suggest clicking this option because it's very helpful. I used to have problems just exporting literally everything in Studio and hitting the try count ceiling in Roblox Studio, and it was not nice. You can also do only visible objects, so whatever is invisible in the Studio, by clicking this eye icon right here, you can hide stuff that makes them invisible. This option, if you click it, it only imports stuff with the open eye icon. So let's say I press this, and this was like a cube because it doesn't import cameras or lights or anything, it just imports the models themselves. But let's say this was a cube and it had the eye open icon. It's going to import both of these objects if there's just visible, but if I press the invisible icon or the eye closed icon, it's only going to import this cube right here. You can also do active collection, which is, you see this collection right here, it's going to import everything in this collection if it's active or visible. We don't need to worry about that though, because most of your models are probably going to be in one collection. So we'll just limit that to selected objects. I'm just going to name it Cube Project, and we're just going to import it to our Blender projects. Just give it a second and it exports, and you will be able to use it in Roblox Studio whenever you'd like. And this last option at the bottom, which you can press Ctrl Q for, it just quits Blender. Most people use this X icon up here, but when you press it, it's going to prompt you to save your file. If you really want to save your project, which I do suggest to do so, you want to press this save icon, this save button. But if you don't care about the project at all and it's just some throwaway project, then you just don't save automatically. Or you can just cancel it and Blender won't quit at all, and you can just continue doing what you're doing in case you accidentally press the X icon on the top right of your screen. Okay, for the second tab, we got Edit. You can undo and redo. I'm pretty sure this would be pretty obvious to you guys. Since I already did some changes and undid them, I'm going to undo those changes right here, and you can see some changes have been made right here with the light. See how it's invisible? You just do that again, boom, and boom. So you can see the changes happening right there. Obviously you can redo like that, but that is way too tedious. Way too tedious to use. So instead you want to press, you can see the controls right here. For redo it's Shift Control Z, and for undo it's Control Z. Let me just test it out, make some changes to this block. copy it a few times. Look at that, we got 3 blocks. Now I want to undo those blocks because I made a huge mistake. Let's say I accidentally copied an object that I don't want to, and I want to undo them. You just press Ctrl Z, boom, and boom, and boom. There you go. But if I want to undo those undos, then you just press Shift, Ctrl Z, boom, and it's just gonna redo everything. I used to have trouble finding out what redo is, having to use this menu all the time until I just figured out it was just Shift Ctrl Z. So I'm just here to prevent you from making that same mistake. So right here you got undo history. You can, instead of manually pressing Z or holding Ctrl Z all the time, instead you can just go right to the spot that you want it to undo. So let's say you made a lot of mistakes, and I'm talking a lot, and you don't want to go through the process of Control Zing all of it all the time. You can just go into undo history and select the state that your file was in before you made the undo or after you made the undo. So right here you can go back to paste objects and see, look, my object right here was pasted, so that was the undo part that I went to. You can also do for a move right here, so it's just gonna go back to the part where I moved the block from the center, and if I go back to temporarily hide in viewport, it's just gonna go back to the part where I hid the light from the viewport right here. So here you got the window tab. There's 2 options, new window and new main window. I usually use the new main window option more because it opens a new window with its own like whole like Blender features and stuff. Basically just opens a new window of Blender. I'm just gonna say that, not gonna further complicate things, but I'm not going to open it because OBS Studio might just not record it at all. But yeah, just wanted to tell you what that does. There's a toggle window full screen, which just basically puts you in full screen. You're not going to see it because OBS records in full screen, but surely enough, if I press it, it's going to put me in full screen. There you go. Another option in the window tab is save screenshot, which you can just take a screenshot of your screen or take a screenshot of your editor. Your editor would be this entire thing right here, and the whole Blender window would just be like all of these UI elements included. And that's all for the top UI, except the stuff on the top right, which I will get to in the next tutorial, because I just wanted to teach you everything that you need to know to get set up with the basic UI features. So I just want to say that's it. That's all I wanted to show you. And I hope everyone who watches this video has an amazing day.